This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for Thursday, September 12th, 2024. I'm Marek Mazurek. Researchers at Purdue University are spreading the word about the danger of red crown rot, a fungal disease that particularly affects soybeans and other legumes. Red crown rot was first detected in Indiana 2 years ago, but now biologists like Purdue University professor of biology Darcy Telenko are sounding the alarm that the disease has been found in Adams, Bartholomew, Rush, Decatur, Spencer, and Allen counties.
Well, I think the very important thing for me to tell the growers is that they need to understand what's going on in their field, and just because it mimics other diseases, it's important for them to get out and really check in season what's the actual disease that's going on in the field. And then that's what our clinic is for, is to help you confirm or not confirm whatever's going on. So that would be one of my things is get out and look. They need to make sure that they know what's actually going on in the field. So then that'll inform them on whatever their future management decisions need to be.
Red crown rot is soil-borne and affects soybeans in the seedling stage. To guard against the disease, farmers could rotate corn into infected fields since corn isn't susceptible. In the long term, growers will need to find new lines of soybeans that are more resistant to red crown rot and new seed treatments. Red crown rot has been around in the U.S. for decades, but it's mainly stayed further south. Telenko says increasingly warm temperatures could be making Midwestern soil more hospitable to the disease. To help track red crown rot, Purdue Extension asks farmers to send in samples if they believe the disease is affecting their soybeans. Indianapolis-based One America Financial Inc., the city's largest private company, has agreed to sell its full-service retirement plan business to New York City-based Voya Financial Inc., the company's announced Wednesday. Under the terms of the deal, which is expected to close on January 1st, Voya will pay $50 million upfront, plus up to an additional $160 million in the second quarter of 2026, contingent on the performance of certain metrics. One America's retirement plan business has about $47 billion in assets under administration through a variety of retirement plans. One America has about 2,500 employees overall, but declined to say how many of them work in the retirement plan unit. Voya declined to say whether the acquisition would have an impact on employment in Indianapolis. Industry sources said the number of employees in the unit is significant, numbering in the hundreds. Voya spokesperson Laura Malucci said that a, quote, vast majority of One America's full-service retirement plan employees will become Voya employees when the transaction closes. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Indiana, your bold future starts here. IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the Engage Indiana series, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. With an unrelenting focus on growing Indiana's economy, our Engage Indiana events take place in every region of the state. Discover when we'll be in your area at ibj.com/engage.
Gosport Manufacturing, which makes tarps and other industrial textiles, has been acquired by Philadelphia-based manufacturer D.C. Humphreys. Financial terms of the deal were not immediately disclosed. Gosport Manufacturing was founded in 1944 by the King family, with Joseph King leading the charge for the last 50 years. The acquisition follows King's retirement, and Humphrey said the deal will allow the company to continue manufacturing in Gosport with no disruption to the workforce. ViewRail, which manufactures stairs and railing, opened its new $250,000 headquarters and design showroom in Goshen this week. The showroom is only a mile from its manufacturing facilities. The new location displays materials and products designed by ViewRail. ViewRail deals in its signature floating stairs and premium glass, as well as rod and cable railing systems. The new location also includes interactive learning spaces to help train the company's 364 employees. The Indiana Department of Transportation is seeking applicants for its engineering scholarship program, which offers more than $3,000 per semester and priority consideration toward a full-time job upon graduation. Universities eligible for the program include Purdue, Rose-Hulman, Trine, Notre Dame, Indiana State, and Valparaiso. Graduate and undergraduate students are both invited to apply. Eligibility requirements include being enrolled full-time or accepted into an accredited engineering school and maintaining a GPA of at least 2.8. Scholarship recipients must agree to work full-time for INDOT during summer breaks, and upon graduation, recipients must work 1 year for each academic year they receive the scholarship. After graduation, INDOT says recipients receive priority hiring within the department. For more information, go to indotScholarship.in.gov. Regardless of who wins in November, Indiana will have a new governor leading the state, and one of their first duties after being sworn into office will be to help pass a budget. Though Election Day is still over 50 days away, much of the budget work is already underway. The state budget agency starts thinking about the budget as early as May, when SBA's director shares instructions with state agencies for crafting a 2-year plan. Joseph Habig, SBA's acting director, highlighted the state's, quote, enviable financial position, end quote, in a May letter to agencies. The letter mentions Indiana's AAA credit rating, shrinking debt obligations, and low income tax rates. But revenues appear to have returned to normal, meaning that agencies will need to be more conscious of their budget asks. Additionally, the state's reserves will be at a post-pandemic low, which leaves less wiggle room. Agencies were told to use their appropriations from the 2025 fiscal year as their base budget for both the 2026 and 2027 fiscal years. Auto dealership leader Ryan Rohrman is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast hosted by Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Marek Mazurek for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.